last 21 seasons of Fortnite, we've had some controversial changes, some changes the community hasn't been on board with, and today, I'm here to cover those changes. If you guys enjoyed this different type of video today, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. And yeah, let's get this bread. Controversial changes in Fortnite history. Alright, we're going to take these controversial updates and put them in order based on the patches they came out. And if anyone asks, I got all these controversial updates from the subreddit. Alright, the first controversial update that we had in Fortnite, I think all the OGs know where we're going with this. Double pump being nerfed. This changed the meta completely. I mean, you knew how to double pump in Season 1, Season 2, the early days of Fortnite. You queued up into a game, you were winning that game. Like, it was just satisfying to do. You know, obviously, I never started with double pump. I never played with double pump. But looking at these old clips, man, they just look so nostalgic. But yeah, double pump nerfed heavily. It really changed the meta. And 4 years later, people are still asking for double pump. Like, it is still generational. People never forgot about double pump. They are never going to forget about it. And I don't think Epic is ever going to put it back in the game. So yeah, double pump was definitely controversial. This was like one of the early days of Fortnite. People still asked for double pump. People were mad at Epic for, you know, not even having pumps in the game in this current meta. Yeah, double pump was definitely one of those big ones. All right, our next controversial update, or should I say updates, because we're going to combine these two. Patch 4.50 and patch 5.20. The drum gun and the P90 were added to the game. The drum gun on day one might be the best weapon ever in Fortnite. It was incredibly good. People wanted it gone. People didn't want it in the game. It really started that spray and pray meta. In fact, the green drum gun is better than the Midas drum gun. I'll throw up the stats for you right there. And then moving on to the P90. This was one of the best guns as well. I actually don't know which ones are better. I'm going to throw both of them up on screen. Blue drum gun, gold P90. And I'll let you guys decide. P90 melted builds. It absolutely destroyed people. It did like 24 damage too, which was pretty good for an SMG back then. Both of these guns caused a lot of problems in the community. Streamers were yelling at Fortnite, Epic Games, please remove these guns. We don't want them in our game. It's going to change the game. And they weren't wrong. It literally started the spray and pray meta. And back-to-back seasons, that was wild. This was just insane. All right, this one's really controversial, and a lot of people overthink this one, and a lot of people don't remember this one. Explosives went through builds. You heard me right. If we had this in today's meta, they would just, no. The stats on this were 25% of explosive damage went right through the build. And it's like a railgun, but an explosive. And 25% don't seem like a lot, but it was a lot. 25% was a lot. But imagine playing a tournament. You're sitting in a box, boxed up in a scrim. Someone pulls out an RPG. Of course, those aren't in the game anymore. But someone pulls out an RPG. They shoot your build. You are literally almost dead. So many players were upset about this, and it was understandable. I was upset about this. I remember dying to this a lot. I don't know what for I was thinking about this one. I don't know. You know, they collect data every update they do. They like to experiment with things. They don't do that very often now. But this one just made no sense. Alrighty, here we go. This one is very, very, very controversial. Patch 7.01 in Season 7. We already know what's coming right now. The Infinity Blade added to Fortnite. Do I even need to explain what made this controversial?
Sing, 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 sing.
Pulling the sword out of the ground was probably one of the worst Fortnite experiences ever. You wouldn't get it. If you dropped right on, people were making tactical strategies to try to get the sword out of the ground. 50 people, half the lobby, or maybe 75% of the lobby would land Polar Peak. Like, it was horrible. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. And the worst part is, you had 400 health. That's 2 times the normal player. You had SIPHON after every elimination. I don't even know how to put that into words. It was in the game for 3 days. 3 days, guys. I don't know if they needed to take it out forever. I mean, I'd be interested to see how it works nowadays in this meta. I think we all remember the clips of the pro streamers and the pro players dying to this in competitive tournaments. Yes, they added this to competitive playlists. But there's that famous clip of the Winter Royale Cup. You know, players competing for thousands of dollars, like ton of money. And here comes some guy with the Infinity Blade, and he got like 12 kills. I believe it was Psalm. No, that was a scuff time for Fortnite. Alright, here we go. Here's another pretty controversial one. Patch 7.40, SIPHON is added to the game. It's tournament style and public matches. You have 50 health or 50 shield, and you get 150 mats per kill. This was one of the best changes that Fortnite's ever made. It picks up the pacing. Let's zoom ahead to patch 8.20, and SIPHON is removed. I think the biggest change with SIPHON was that it really reduced the third partying. It really helped with that, and I've already explained. Third partying is a massive problem in today's game, so this really helped. I mean, like, you wouldn't get picked off back then. And the reason it reduced it is because if someone land on you and you just killed someone, you got that 150 mats to fight this guy. You've got 50 extra health, and it really helped with players not dying to the third party. It also picked up the pacing and made the game more rewarding to get eliminations. Siphon was one of the best changes I think Fortnite's ever added. It was just very controversial when they took it out. It just picked up the pace, it reduced third party. It was just an all-in-all good change. All right, patch 9. This is season 9. We all know what's coming here as well. The pump vaulted for the combat shotgun. Oh boy, this one was controversial on day 1. The day 1 combat shotgun was trash. You had to be super accurate with it. It had a really fast fire rate, which people weren't used to. Give it a few weeks, combat shotgun is the best gun in the meta. By the way, this is World Cup. Can you imagine if we had blue pumps in World Cup? I just don't know why they took out the pump. I was fine with it. I didn't mind the combat at all. I just don't understand why they couldn't keep the pump, combat, and tac. I mean, that would have been a good shotgun meta in my opinion. I don't know. It just feels, feels a little weird. But the combat shotgun had a good fire rate. It had good damage. So this is why, it grew on people. You gotta give guns a chance. Epic has done the data testing. They know what they're doing. Although this one didn't really make much sense why they couldn't keep the pump in, because remember, they released that statement that 30% of all eliminations were made with a pump shotgun. So I think that's more the majority where people were upset. All right, season 10, mechs. Mechs were the most broken thing added to the video game. Don't even debate me on it, because you ain't gonna win. There is nothing comparable to what the mechs did to Fortnite. Many players, like half the population of Fortnite, quit. I personally didn't. I stuck it out. But it was horrible. I think the game, that was the worst part of the game. It was literally impossible to defeat the mech. And if not impossible, very, very hard. The third partying with a mech, if you third partied with a mech, you were guaranteed to get a few kills out of that. I think the main problem with the mech was the rockets on it. I think that this broke Fortnite, and I think this was generational damage. Some players quit and never came back to the game because of the mech. Season X was probably by far the worst season of Fortnite. I think Chapter 2, Season 6 up there. I think Season X was definitely a lot worse. Also talking about Season X, patch 10.20, turbo build nerf, which I'm gonna say this right now, made absolutely no sense. I already mentioned that they collect data, but what was going on here? What data did you look at that said players didn't like turbo build or the game didn't need turbo build? I have a few clips on screen of people trying to create 90s in creative. This is what 90s looked like for about a week. It was, I don't even know if it lasted a week. I don't even remember. I don't know. Turbo build is one of the most important pieces. 90s are probably the most iconic build in this game. Jeez, man. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up today's video. Obviously, there's a few more controversial ones, in Chapter 3. Got the zero build, pump in the scar gone, drum shotgun. But we ain't gonna go over all those. I hope you guys enjoyed today's different type of video, and let me know if you want to see more lists like this in the future. And yeah, we got the Dragon Ball collab coming up, so I'll see you guys then. Peace, guys.